Let's do some coloring together. And maybe you've heard about the Dutch word gezellig. And I'm going to try to give you that feeling of cozy togetherness. Just coloring together, have a little chat, and I will show you what I've been up to the last month in January. I'm going to color with this set, Arteza 120 Expert Color Pencils. Arteza sent me this set. I am over the moon because, as you know, I already had the 72 set and I love those pencils. So let's give them a try. In my World of Flowers book, and this is the drawing that you've already seen me coloring. I'm not finished yet, so let's go for it. Arteza sent me something else, this beautiful pencil bag, and I'm going to test it in the next couple of months. And here are the 120 Expert Color Pencils. I just love them. Look at that. This looks so great. As you can see, I've been doing some coloring lately, especially this little house. And right now I'm working on this flower. So I will continue. And while coloring, I will tell you a little bit more about the month of January, what I've been up to. Let's grab a pencil. How about this one? Pink macaron. Nice little cookie macaron. We have this, maybe you have seen this. In the UK you have this TV program Great British Bake Off, and we have the same format on Dutch television. And last night this baking contest had the contestants bake macarons. It's a really nice TV program. It's truly a feel-good program. And boy, do we need feel-good programs right now. Yeah, a lot has happened in the last month of January. The Netherlands is back into lockdown. And this lockdown is quite firm, and a couple of days ago a curfew started. We haven't had that in the Netherlands since the Second World War, so many quite a few people are not happy with this curfew, but the government thought they really had to do something big in order to push back the numbers of corona infections. So we are in lockdown with a curfew. After 9 p.m. you are not allowed to be outdoors. This is fruit punch, unless you have a legitimate reason to be there. So you need to have a piece of paper with you where you declare why you are outdoors. It was quite strange. Last night we went to visit my parents, my husband and I, and we had to be back home in time. So that was quite, yeah, it's different. But it's okay with me. If it helps, I'm completely fine with it. It's especially the younger people who are having trouble, I believe. And this was a beautiful, beautiful opportunity for the really bad guys, you know, the rioters, the hooligans, to turn a couple of places in the Netherlands into a complete mess. That was not very nice. Here I have a salmon pink. So the police is very busy containing the riots, and last night it was quite messy. Even a hospital was being attacked. Wow. That is completely ridiculous. But yeah. Of course, we have been watching here in the Netherlands the situation early January in Washington with the Capitol storm being stormed. Well, we have our own share of violence right now. This is fruit punch. It's really not funny. So I've decided to do a lot of coloring, make a lot of videos, as many as possible, because due to the lockdown and the virus still raging here in the Netherlands, I'm not able to teach singing. You know, I'm a voice teacher. I do a little bit of teaching on the internet, online, but most of the students, they prefer having lessons live in the studio, and I completely understand that. So there's not much teaching these days. Thank goodness my husband and I we are not in financial trouble. Thank goodness. There's help from the government for people who are getting into trouble, but for some people that is just not enough to help. And I'm sure that is happening all over the world right now. Here I have fuchsia. So what else happened in January besides Corona and political stuff? I had my first Botox injection procedure stuff, medical thing, to get rid of my migraine attacks. And viewers, some of you had already contacted me saying try Botox injections because it might work. So 2 weeks ago I went to the hospital to have my first treatment, and I must be honest with you, goodness gracious, that was intense. It was really intense. 31 injections, which feels like a bee sting, so 31 bee stings in my head, near my ears, in my neck and in my shoulders. it was really intense. When I came home, I needed comfort food. It was so intense, I needed comfort food. So I went to the kitchen. I grabbed out Coca-Cola, chocolate and chips. I took a blanket. I went to the couch. I lay down, and I didn't move for the next couple of hours. It was that intense. Now the question is, are these injections going to work? And well, so far they haven't blocked the migraine attacks, but it's doing something, because the pain that comes with the migraine attacks, the headaches, they have migrated to a different place in my head. You know, this Botox, it numbs nerves. So a couple of nerves in my face and head are now numb. And that I can really sense that, because I had always the pain on the left side of my head. It's no longer there, but it has migrated. It found a new place, just as bad. But okay, we'll have to wait and see. In 3 months' time, I will have a new appointment with the neurologist, and then we will see what needs to be done. Here I have peaches and cream. But although there are still migraine attacks, I have been doing some work for Passion for Pencils. And there are a couple of work in progress projects that I would like to show you right now, so you can see what I'm doing and what type of videos you can expect in the near future. So I will show you that right now. These are my 2 work in progress projects for the month of January. I started out with these 2 paintings as a study for making future videos, and I'm so glad I started to do that study thing. You know, many artists do that before they make an actual drawing or painting. They do a study. They try before they do the real thing. And for example, with this robin, and I am painting this one with Derwent Inktense, I found out that the ink lines are actually, in the past they helped me, but I am more and more realizing that they are limiting also. So in the real painting that will come eventually, I will not use ink lines, but just graphite pencil lines, as thin as possible. For example, here the lines here are way too harsh. I would love to be able to make some sort of an overlap here and there from these beautiful fiery colors into the brown and gray tones of the head and the back of the bird. So that is what I learned so far in this study. I will continue doing this study because I'm sure there's much more to learn before I do the eventual painting. What I do love is the background here. That's really working, I think. And also I have a list with the colors that I've already used, and that makes it easier also to pick my colors in the future video. You know, recording, I found, goes much smoother when you know where you're going, and that is what this study is all about. it prepares me for the journey, so to speak. So the other one is of a different type. It's colored pencil, foxglove, and I am mainly using Polychromos and Luminance and a couple of Prismacolor Premieres also. And I have already started my second study because the first one wasn't not working very much, and I have always had trouble to create pictures, paintings and drawings of flowers, which I'm happy about. There's, you know, when I draw a flower you can see it's a flower, but that beautiful lightness and delicacy of a flower, I never come to that. I don't know how to grab that in my paintings and drawings. So I had a little chat with one of my voice students. I don't think you can see it, but here's a second sketch. And one of my voice students, she happened to have done a botanical art course, and I've been looking for that for ages now. They have a beautiful art course here in the Netherlands in the city of Leiden. There you have a botanical garden and they have beautiful courses. 4 or 5 days you go there and you learn tons and tons of things about botanical painting. Anyway, she told me, because I explained to her what I was struggling with, and she said that she learned that you cannot have softness and delicacy in your flower paintings unless you have the guts to put in the very sharp lines. And that made sense to me. Now this first study is an incline study, and again I realized the place where the very sharp lines are situated in the flower are now a black ink line. I don't think that is going to help if I want to create that light, delicate feeling of flowers. So what I did, I made a new sketch with a very, very light graphite pencil line, and I'm able to get rid of that line more just by erasing it. So now I'm building up color slowly to see if this goes any better. It might well be that this one tip from my student will not help me enough to get the result that I'm really looking for, but you know, this is a work in progress. I'm learning, and I've seen that there are online courses in botanical painting as well, so maybe I should dive in one of those courses. Anyway, this is what I've been up to in the last month, and it looks like I will be working on this in the next month also, to create those videos. Here I have plum purple. Let's continue the coloring. January is quite a dark month here in the Netherlands because we are on the northern hemisphere and the winter months are quite dark. So we had clouds and rain, a little bit of snow we had recently. But now at the end of January, you can feel that the days are getting longer. More sunlight, Today we have a beautiful blue sky, so I will go out to have a walk later in the day, just to be outdoors. And 2 days ago we had a great walk, a hike. I love that American word for walking in nature, hiking. It's a word that has this sense of adventure. I love that. And this 2 days ago we had an adventurous walk. We went to the western part of the Netherlands, near the seashore, and we had a walk in the sand dunes. You know, the complete coast of the Netherlands is covered in sand dunes. So we had a hike there, and also a forested area in those dunes. But there was a lot of water, it was swampy. Thank goodness we had our mountain hiking boots on, and they are very water resistant. So, but we were sometimes in the water and the mud up to our ankles. It was very adventurous, but we had a great time. I love going into nature. And I will show you a little bit of footage later in this video. Okay, let's go for a very light tone. This is peaches and cream. What happens if I add that on top of this? Now with, for example, Luminance, Caran Luminance Pencils, if you add a light color on top of the darker ones, you can blend beautifully. But that is not working so well with these Arteza pencils. But that's okay. These Arteza pencils are absolutely my favorite pencil when it comes to coloring in coloring books. And I recently launched a video about another pencil brand, Magicfly, and a lot of questions came about whether the Arteza pencils are the same as the Magicfly pencils. So I did some testing for you, and I thought, well, let's turn that question of you in some sort of a Q&A in this video. So let's see how they compare to each other, Arteza and Magicfly. So let's try to answer the question, are these two pencils sets actually the same pencil? So I did some research, and Magicfly is a company from Hong Kong, and Arteza is a company from the United States. And from Arteza I know for sure that they have their pencils manufactured in China. It's on the back of the tin, and you can also read on the back of the tin that there is a 4mm pencil lead in it. And this set comes in, these pencils come in 48, 72 and 120. And here we have Magicfly, only one set available, I believe, 72. I cannot find on the box where they are made, but because they stem from Hong Kong, I'm quite sure they come from China also. They have a 3mm lead, so a little bit smaller than the Artezas. And these Magicfly pencils are oil based. Arteza is wax based. So let's look at the colors. Here I have the color chart of both pencils. This is Magicfly 72 set, and here I have the Arteza 120 set. And I checked the numbers and the colors, and some color names are the same in both sets. For example, blood orange, you can find them in both sets, but then they have different numbers on the barrel. So that is a first indication that they are not exactly the same pencil. And here two other colors with the same number but completely different colors. Here I have the two next to each other. And well, let's do some testing. This is blood orange. I speeded up this part of the video, otherwise it would take way too long. And this is the Magicfly pencil I am layering right now, and I can feel that these pencils are a little bit drier than the Arteza pencils, and they keep their point well. They are slightly thick, harder lead than the Artezas. This is the Arteza blood orange, and this goes down smoother, really smoother. And as you can see, the colors are slightly different. The Arteza is a little bit more orangey than the Magicfly blood orange. So that is another indication that they are not the same pencil. Here we have Peony, Magicfly. Again, I feel this dry element to the pencil, and they remind me of Irogiton pencil. Irogiton is a very hard pencil also, but I like to combine those harder pencils with the softer ones. And here Arteza goes down pretty easily. These two pink pencils have the same name, Peony. Peony and Peony Pink, but as you can see, different numbers on the barrel. Well, the Magicfly pencil is slightly thinner, but that is okay. Now the question is, are these the same pencils? Absolutely not. They are different pencils with different barrels, and they feel different and they have different colors. Second question, do they come from the same factory? I have no idea, but Magicfly said, they told me that their pencils do not come from the same pencil company as Arteza. So that is all I know, but they are definitely different pencils. They are not the same. Let's take a look at this house. I think it's supposed to be a house, and I'm going to add some more dark colors. This is espresso brown. I'm just going to create a little bit of extra contrast here and there. I've been thinking for a couple of years now to create some sort of video that will give you and me the feeling that we are just coloring together. that Dutch word gezellig, that is what I'm going to try to find in the videos. Now this is only the first video with that particular purpose in mind, so I might need a couple of episodes to find out how to create that what we call gezelligheid. And the word gezellig, it means it's a combination of coziness and togetherness. And I think the togetherness is something very important in the word gezellig. And I would love to create that, both for you and for me. That would be really great if I could get to the point that it really feels like we are coloring together and have a good time. So that's what I'm going to search for in this year 2021. Last week I've been watching the American inauguration of the new president, and I was extra interested in that because of Lady Gaga singing the national anthem. You know, as a voice teacher and classical singer, I am always interested in how people perform, especially when they are under pressure. And I can imagine that singing at the inauguration of a president live, open air, outdoors, knowing that I don't know how many people have seen that performance all over the world, but that must have been hundreds of millions of people. That lies an enormous amount of pressure on a performer. So, and I'm always interested in that. I like to learn about sports psychology, because those athletes, I think they need to they need to have the same skills as those artists who work in front of millions of people, who have to perform in front of millions of people. So I'm really interested in that. So I was interested in how Lady Gaga would manage. And I was wondering whether she would have the guts to do it live. And goodness, she did. As far as I could tell, peaches and cream. I know not all artists choose to do such a performance live, and I completely understand that. But as far as I could tell, she did it live. And listening to her as a voice teacher, I could hear there were a couple of moments where it was a little bit tricky whether she would pull it off or not. But she's such a great singer, she pulled it off. It was really impressive. And my mother had watched it too. And she said, I never knew that Lady Gaga was such a good singer. She remembered her as just the crazy woman with the flesh, with the meat dress. she was wearing a dress made of meat. Goodness gracious. Actually, she's a very good singer. Here I have a color indigo because I'm going to add a touch of coolness in the shadows. Look at that. Do you see that? That is so gorgeous. Let me show you. It is subtle, but it works like crazy. Beautiful. So, let's continue with this color. Fluorescent, can you see it? Fluorescent, yes, fluorescent yellow. Very difficult word. This is not the right color. I think I need this one. Lime green. Because I want a slightly brighter, cleaner tone green. Because what is on here now, the green tone, is a little bit earthy. There's a touch of brown in it, but I want it to be a little bit cooler. Now let's go for a slightly darker cool tone. How about this one? Matcha green. It's not really a cool green, but just, yeah, there we go. Do you see that? The difference is subtle, but it's, yeah. I've had questions, how do I choose my colors? That is a very difficult question to answer, so I will make a video about that, but it can take a while before I am able to record it, because I think it's quite a complicated process. And I want to make it easy for you. It's not complicated for me, but when I start explaining it, it could be very difficult to understand. So I will search for a way to show you how and why I choose the colors that I choose. Now let's go for a cooler tone, the lime green. Oh, the lighter tone, lime green. So, my urge to color and paint has been with me, I think, all my life, from an early age on. But it's the urge of painting and coloring and drawing always is ignited, in my case, by nature, by seeing by experiencing nature and old buildings, I have to say. Old buildings are very inspiring to me as well. Here I have a dark green, basil green. My inspiration really comes from nature. I take pictures, sometimes I take my watercolors outdoor set with me, but I must say in wintertime that is not very appealing. So I take pictures, and then sometimes years and years later I decide to turn a picture into a painting or a drawing. And that's why I would like to take you with me outdoors right now with some footage of where I get my inspiration from. And well, let's just take a look on what January looked like outdoors here in the Netherlands this year. So when I go out for a walk, I most of the time take this path to an area that is a little bit of nature. This is the path, and it was freezing. There's ice on the path, as you can see, and I just walk into this area that used to be farmland, but now they are turning this into a recreational area with water, grass, lots of wildflowers in summertime, and trees as well. There is a heron flying by, lots of birds actually. Here there is more. I like to take this path. It's quite muddy, but I like this path. And here you can see a kestrel flying away from the tree. A kestrel is a sort of falcon, and there are quite a few of them in this area. And in my walks I also discovered the first snowdrops. It's mid-January, and we actually had snow. It just happened in a couple of hours and it was gone again in a couple of hours. So my husband and I went out and took this beautiful walk. And on our latest hike we found this hellebores, and this hike was quite adventurous, as you can see. This is in an area in the western part of the Netherlands with lots of sand dunes near the coast, near the sea. And it was quite wet and muddy. Thank goodness we have good hiking boots, and we enjoyed ourselves very much. I like this type of adventurous hikes. So, welcome back. I hope you liked what I showed you. You know, the Netherlands is not very spectacular right now. In summertime it looks much better, I think, with all the green leaves and the flowers and everything. But in wintertime nature looks a little bit grey and brown. This is burgundy, but I must say coloring and painting has opened my eyes for the huge amount of colors that are in nature, even in wintertime. So to me it's much more interesting to be outdoors right now. I just saw some sort of a jay. We call it Vlaamse gaai, Flemish jay. It's a bird. It's a beautiful bird. It was in the garden of my neighbors. They have bird food. They have a bird feeder, and that bird came to snack a little bit. I'm picking out a yellow one, jasmine yellow. Can you read it? Jasmine yellow. That J is would be a great subject for a painting or a drawing, I must say, because it's really a very beautiful bird. A couple of days ago I also planted tulip bulbs, and I'm really way too late to do that, but because on the, you know, when you buy tulip bulbs, on the package it says you have to plant them in autumn, but here we have a tradition of giving each other bulbs of spring flowers in December with the Sinterklaasfeest, and I received tulip bulbs with the Sinterklaasfeest, so I always plan them late in the year, and this time it was January. This is Piney Pink, so I hope they will come up, they will bloom, and if they do I will show you, but that will be somewhere in April or May, so we have to wait a couple of months. And hopefully by then this raging coronavirus will be a little bit less active. In the Netherlands we started vaccinating, but it's going well, many people think it's going too slow. As you can see, there is still a lot of work that needs to be done, also in the background. So I will take this set of pencils and this book with me downstairs to the living room, and tonight I will continue drawing, because the way I draw, you know that, it takes lots and lots of time. I'm standing right now, I'm not sitting on a chair, but I'm just standing, and I must say that really works. That's really interesting. It's giving you another perspective, a perspective that painters use also. Maybe you've seen that when painters are painting on their canvas, they frequently take a couple of steps back, just creating a little bit more distance between themselves, and then they see their painting from a different perspective, and that helps to decide what to do next. But look what is happening right now. The magic is happening here. After layering and layering and layering, there is a moment where the magic starts to happen, and here we have it right now. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but there is this vibrancy, and I will do a video about it in the future, about layering, because I'm convinced that you cannot create a vibrancy like this if you use just one color. But to be honest with you, I've never put it to the test, really. So I need to do some testing if what I think that happens when you layer, if it's really happening only when you layer. I think I'm right. I don't think you can get this effect of vibrancy and depth when you use only one or two colors. I think you need all those colors together to create this depth, and I absolutely love it. But it takes a lot of time. I've said it before, when you go coloring with colored pencils, the most important skill you need is patience. Keep going, just keep going. And these pencils, these Arteza pencils, they feel so great on, it just feels great. I'm very grateful that Arteza sent me these pencils. Well, I think right now it's really time to to have a meal. I really enjoyed coloring with you. I really liked it. So I hope you liked it too. And I am planning on doing the same type of video like this next month, every month. One video, gezellig coloring. Just have a chat about what has happened that month. Enjoying coloring together and just, well. So let's take a step back. I'm pulling you back right now. Look at that. I'm talking to the camera like it's you. Okay. Well, there will be more videos in the next few weeks, and I really hope you enjoyed this one, and see you in the next video, and I wish you happy coloring. Bye bye.